Welcome and hello everybody. Our lesson today is the first lesson in the second term, and the lesson is the chemical combination, unit 1, lesson 1. What is the meaning of the chemical combination and how can it form, and what is the types of the chemical combination? Tomorrow we will explain or discuss everything about chemical combination. Firstly, we have studied that the number of elements till now is 116 element, and we have studied that every element is composed of molecules, and molecules is composed from smaller units known as atoms. And there is in the atom there is two types, the nucleus and the electron. Inside the nucleus we have studied that there's particles with positive charge is known as neutrons, and particles with neutral charge is the neutrons, protons and neutrons. But around the nucleus there is a negative particles revolve around the nucleus with negative charge is known as electrons. We have studied that every element have two numbers. The first number is the atomic number, which resemble the number of protons or number of electrons, but the above number is the mass number. Mass number is the summation of protons plus neutrons inside the nucleus. So there is a very simple question. Give reason the atom is electrically neutral because the atom contain protons and the number of electrons with positive charge is equal to number of electrons which revolve around the nucleus with the negative charge. So the atom is electrically neutral. Elements are classified according to their properties and electronic structure into three types: metals and non-metals and noble gas. Elements are classified according to their properties into and electronic structure into metals and non-metals and noble gases. Okay, firstly we will discuss what is the meaning of metals. If the element have less than 4 electrons in the outermost energy level, it considered as a metals. So every element consists or contain of less than 4 electrons in the outermost energy level, it considered as an element, metals. Metals are characterized by solids, except mercury is liquid. The only liquid metal is mercury, but the the other is solid. Other metals is solid. Number two, metals have a metallic cluster. Number three, metals are good conductor for both heat and electricity. Number four, metals are ductile and malleable, or can be reshaped or harmed. During chemical reactions, atoms of metals is tend to give electrons to other atoms to be changed into a positive ion. Every element or metal tend to be look like the structure of noble gas. So metals during the chemical reaction tend to give the outermost energy level electrons to be changed into a positive ion. So positive ion definition, it is the atom which lose an electron during the chemical reaction. A positive ion, it is the atom which tend to lose electrons, one electron or more than one electron during the chemical reaction. For example, sodium Na during the chemical reaction, a sodium atom tend to lose one electron and will be changed into a positive ion, Na positive, which carry one positive charge. Concentrate in this point. the number of positive charge is equal to number of electrons which lose during the chemical reaction. For example, sodium contain 2 electrons in K energy level and 8 electrons in L energy level and 1 electron in M energy level. During the chemical reaction, sodium tend to lose the electron in the outermost energy level M to P look like noble gas neon to with electronic configuration to 8. So in this case, sodium is a positive ion with one positive charge. A second example, magnesium ion, a magnesium atom during the chemical reaction tend to lose 2 electrons from the outermost energy level and will be changed into Mg positive 2. Why positive 2? Because magnesium tend to lose the 2 electrons in the outermost energy level and carry 2 positive charge. Aluminium during the chemical reaction, aluminium is tend to lose 3 electrons from the outermost energy level and will be resembled as Al positive 3 because it lose 3 electron from the outermost energy level and will be changed into a positive ion. There is a very important question. Give reason when the atom lose an electron or more during the chemical reaction, it changed into positive ion. Why it carry a positive charge or be a positive ion? The answer, because the number of electrons will become less than the number of protons. After the atom lose electrons, so the number of electrons will be less than number of protons. So number, or we can say number of protons will be more than number of electrons, so it will carry a positive charge. The second type of elements is nonmetals. Nonmetals, it is elements which have more than 4 electrons in the outermost energy level. It characterized by they are solids and gases except bromine, Pr2, which is liquid. Number 2, elements of nonmetals without luster. Number 3, it's bad conductor of heat and electricity except الكربون أو graphite. Again, elements of nonmetals bad conductors of heat and electricity except الكربون أو graphite is a good conductor of electricity. It cannot be reshaped or be harmed or ductile or malleable. And during the chemical reaction, the elements of nonmetals tend to gain electrons from the other atoms. And in this case, this element will change it into a negative ion. And so the definition of the negative ion, it is the atom which gains an electron or more than 1 electron during the chemical reaction. Again, negative ion, it is the atom which gain 1 electron or more than 1 electron during the chemical reaction. For example, chlorine Cl. During the chemical reaction, chlorine atom gain 1 electron and change into negative ion. So it will resemble as Cl minus. Why Cl minus 1? Because chlorine will gain 1 electron only to be complete filled with electron in the outermost energy level to be look like the nearest noble gas or inner gas. So it will be resembled as Cl minus. Another example, oxygen O. Oxygen during the chemical reaction will gain 2 electrons and will change it into negative ion and resembled as O minus 2. Why O minus 2? Because it will tend to gain 2 electrons during the chemical reaction to be look like noble gas or inner gas. Number 3, or example number 3, nitrogen atom. In this case, nitrogen atom will gain 3 electrons. It contains 5 electrons in the outermost energy level and tend to be complete with electrons in the outermost energy level. So it will gain 3 electrons. So it will resemble as N minus 3. Minus 3 equal to number of electrons which nitrogen atom gain during the chemical reaction. There is an important question. Give reason when atom gains 1 electron or more than 1 electron during the chemical reaction, it will be changed into a negative ion. Why? Because the number of electrons will be or became more than number of protons. Or on the other hand, we can say the number of protons will be less than number of electrons. So the number of positive charge will be less than number of negative charge. So, or we can say number of negative charge will be more than number of positive charge. So it resemble as a negative ion. So we can conclude the definition of the ion. It is the atom which lose or gain according to what? According to this atom is metal or non-metal. So it tend to lose or gain an electron or 1 electron or more during the chemical reaction. Number 3, the third type is the noble or inner gas. Noble gas or inner gas, the two meaning is the same. You can say it noble gas or inner gas. These elements which the outermost energy level is completely filled with electron. So, as a result of these elements completely filled with electrons in the outermost energy level, it don't participate in any chemical reactions or in any chemical combination in the normal conditions or ordinary conditions. So, these molecules is consist of one atom or a single atom. So, as a result, these elements don't gain or don't lose electrons, so it doesn't form positive or negative ion in the ordinary conditions, such as what? Helium 2,4. Helium contains 2 electrons, yes, and 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So it completely filled with electrons, and this is a special case completely filled with the 2 electrons in the first energy level K. A second example, neon 1020 is contain, yes, 10 electrons, 10 protons, 10 neutrons. So when you make electronic configuration to neon to 8, so the outermost energy level contain all completely filled with electrons, so neon doesn't participate or share in any chemical reaction or chemical combination. The last example, argon 1840, so it contains 18 electron, 18 proton, and 22 neutrons. So it's completely filled with electrons, as you see in this slide. So it doesn't participate or share in any chemical combination or chemical reaction. There is a simple comparison between positive ion and the negative ion. Positive ion, there is another name to it as cation, and the negative ion as anion. Cation or positive ion, it is atom of metallic elements that lose 1 electron or more during the chemical reaction. But the negative ion, it is atom of non-metallic element that gain 1 electron or more during the chemical reaction. A positive ion carry positive charge, and this positive charge is equal to number of lost electron during the chemical reaction. But the negative ion carry negative charge, and it equal to number of gained electron during the chemical reaction. Number 3, positive ion, the number of its electron will be less than number of its proton inside the nucleus. But negative ion, number of its electrons is more than number of its protons inside the nucleus. The last one, the number of its energy level is less than that of its ion. Why? Because it will lose the electrons of the outermost energy level. So the ion contain less than number less than of energy level less than energy level in the original atom. But in the negative ion, the same number of energy level in atom or in the ion. The second point in this lesson is the chemical bond, ionic bond and covalent bond. Ionic bond, it happened between metal and non-metal, but covalent bond, it happened between two non-metal atoms. Firstly, ionic bond, it happened, as we say, it happened between metal and non-metal. How it happened? Metal atom, يا ولاد, will lose electrons and change it into positive ion. A non-metal atom will gain the electrons and changing into a negative ion. As a result of strong electrostatic or electrical attraction between the positive and negative ion, so ionic bond will be happened or will be found. So we can give a definition to ionic bond. It is a bond resulting from the electric attraction between, you are right, the positive ion and the negative ion. For example, formation of sodium chloride molecule NaCl. Na, in this case, sodium will lose one electron and chloride will gain one electron. So ionic bond will be formed between positive sodium ion and negative chloride ion, forming ionic molecule of sodium chloride NaCl. So we can conclude it as Na positive plus Cl negative will be form Na positive Cl negative or NaCl ionic molecule. The second example is magnesium oxide molecule, MgO. Magnesium will lose two electrons and changing into a positive ion. So it will be resembled as Mg positive 2. Oxygen, on the other hand, oxygen will gain the two electrons and will be change into a negative ion, O minus 2. So magnesium oxide is form a strong ionic bond between a positive magnesium ion, Mg positive 2, and the negative oxygen atom ion, O minus 2, forming an ionic molecule of magnesium oxide, MgO. The second type of chemical bond is the covalent bond. It happened between two nonmetals atom. Nonmetals, in this case, no one lose or gain electrons. So what will happen? Each atom or each of them will share with the other with a specific number of electrons equal to number of electrons it need to complete the outermost energy level. Again, in this case or in this type of bond, no atom will gain electrons or lose electrons. So what will happen? Every atom will share with a specific number of electrons. It equal to number of electrons which the atom need to be completely filled with electrons. So we can give a definition to covalent bond. It is a bond which happen among the atoms of nonmetals through the participation of each of atom with the same number of electrons to complete the outer electron shell of each atom. There is three types of covalent bond: single covalent bond and double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. So the question is, why it named as single or double or triple covalent bond? We will discuss or explain it. Firstly, the single covalent bond. Each atom in this case will share with the other atom with only one electron. So it named as single covalent bond, and it will be represented by one line which will join the two atoms. For example, the hydrogen molecule, it consists of one hydrogen atom and another hydrogen atom. Every atom will share with one electrons. So hydrogen H2 will, every atom will be completely filled with 2 electrons in the outermost energy level. The second example, water molecule. Water molecule consists of H2O, two hydrogen atom. Every atom will share with 1 electron, and one oxygen atom will share with 1 electron with every hydrogen atom. So after combination of this covalent single covalent bond, oxygen will contain, as you see in this picture or this slide, oxygen will contain 8 electrons in the outermost energy level. Every hydrogen atom will contain 2 electrons in the outermost energy level. The second type is double covalent bond. It happened between two nonmetals, but in this case, each atom will share with 2 electrons. يبقى a single covalent bond with 1 electron, a double with 2 electrons. As a result, yes, a triple covalent bond with 3 electrons. For example, and it is represented طبعا by two lines join the two atoms. For example, الأكسجين molecule O2, every oxygen atom will share with 2 electrons with the other atom. So oxygen O2, every atom will contain 8 electrons. The third type, and it is the last type of covalent bond, triple covalent bond. As we say, each atom will share with the other atom with 3 electrons, and it will be represented by 3 lines joining the two atoms. For example, in nitrogen molecule, every atom will share with the other atom with 3 electrons to form a nitrogen molecule N2. Uh, N2, every atom will contain 8 electrons. Thank you for listening our first lesson, chemical combination. You are welcome to ask any question at any time. Thank you.